determination expressed by the governor and chairman that they intend to increase the capital reserve for commercial banks to $200 million come the end of this year, I think is most welcome. I think this would be a very good move in their attempt to further sanitize this very important but sensitive sector.
The questions were unending as lawmakers looked at every aspect of the central bank's operations during the year under review. The overall performance of the bank, with a reduction of financial loss recorded at 47.6 million, a significant drop from the previous year, was commendable, given that its operation fared through volatile and very unpredictable economic climate.
For ISODA, it is not so much about the level of stock at this point in time. The strategy of the Gambia government vis-a-vis debt, particularly domestic debt, is to ensure that the rate of growth of debt is contained. Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, the country does not have currently the resources, to deal domestically to deal with the issue of domestic debt to the extent that you run down domestic debt significantly. One of the measures that I've been taking, or is being taken, is to, and I reported in this, I said, with 13 banks, it's quite a light number of banks. And we don't believe that we should continue to recruit staff as long as the process of collecting data, analyzing data is manual. No matter the number of staff that you have, the system becomes inefficient and costly. We have looked at this, examined this, and even disagreed with IMF. Here is a recommendation from IMF. IMF is not a specialist in supervision.
The Central Bank of the Gambia had its annual activity report and financial statement for the year 2011 adopted by deputies, but recommendations were made for more fruitful results from the bank's operations and in anticipation for improved compliance level with the public procurement regulations of the Gambia. For GRTS News, I am Ajami Sise.
Well, the Gambia Ports Authority has reported a 30% increase in profit for the year 2010. This development was considered extremely successful by members of the National Assembly Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committee. The GPA also registered a 100% compliance level with the standard set by the Gambia Public Procurement Authority. Ajami Sise again.
As it joins the long list of public institutions frequenting the chambers of the National Assembly to present their activity reports and financial statements for scrutiny and adoption, the Gambia Ports Authority tabled before members of the Public Accounts and Enterprises Committees a report that shows a 30% increase in its revenue base for the year 2011.
Financial performance of the GPA in the year under review has been satisfactory, despite the satisfactory performance of the productive base of our economy, the economic shocks, including increasing fuel prices, the fierce interport competition within the sub-region, and the trends in the global trading environment. The authority overall financial position continues to be sound and healthy. The authority registered a throughput of 1,718,938 tons in the year ended 31st December 2011, compared to 1,402,135 tons in 2010.
Their interventions were diverse and sometimes even complex as they looked into the core of the authority's operations, unearthing problems that happened during the course of the year and others which have always been there.
My concern here is that the ports, as diligent as it might be, may not be in a position to be able to negotiate its way out when it needs to do it, because you need to do it at the correct time. So they are talking about the restructuring of the port and ownership structures of the port in the sub-region, which is going to affect their competitiveness, because the investment required coming from another party means that the efficiencies of other ports might improve much faster than the Gambian Port Authority.
Whether the space they are occupying at the GPMB is free of charge or is causing them to spend monies on it. And then the question why I am asking that, because according to his statement, Ports Authority have spent a huge amount of money, let's say millions of dollars, is in compensating for acquiring land or areas for seaport expansion.
GPA obtained a loan of 150 million from Social Security to buy new ferries. That's what is explained here. I want to know, how does the acquisition of these new ferries from the Social Security loan relate to the Kansala and Al-Jamdu ferries, if there is any connection?
Most of the investments they have entered into in the last few years have ended up virtually being written off. Galia holding Marshall Island 78 million down the drain. Gam Petroleum 115 million, and so on. The list is very long. Now, certainly when you look at all these other operations, they have very little relationship with port activities. And I think, in line with the allusions made by the MD in his report, I think PACPEC should make a strong recommendation that GPA concentrate on those things, on those investments that are relevant to its operations.
The Deputy Managing Director was on for a marathon speech, speaking on every question as it was presented, shedding light on areas of concern for the members.
Singapore was a city port. The whole of Banjul could have been a port if the trade demands it. And that's what we are praying for. Even the north banks of the River Gambia, the whole country should be a port. So we have master plans which we update every year. We update it, and as time goes, because you cannot sit down and wait. In port business, the ships should have the bar waiting them. The ships cannot wait. And as you see everywhere, if the ships come to Gambia and the ships they congest, there's a lot of, they go somewhere and dump the cargo. They dump it somewhere, or they put a lot of charges on the freight that for cargo coming to Gambia.
And because of the improvement of the situation, you know, we are revisiting the arrangement, and hopefully we may go for 6 months. And at the end of the day, we resort to our own resources. And for this thing, the rental paid, to be honest, is very concessionally, you know, of which, you know, there's an arrangement, you know, for paying at least the first 6 months. Yeah.
As its operations covers more than 80% of the import and export trade of the Gambia, the GPA's interventions in so many national projects are widely recognized, and its yearly activity for the 2011 calendar, members say, was a success. For GRTS News, I am Ajami Sise.
The Birkama Area Council has presented a check for $800,000 to the Gambia Agency for the Management of Public Works GAMWorks as part of the Council's first counterpart contribution to the $4 million community-based infrastructure and livelihood improvement project. As Ndai Kumbademba reports, the money will be used to execute vital community development projects in the West Coast region.
Is what has been allocated to the Brikama Area Council to fund the construction of some community-based projects in the West Coast region by the Community-Based Infrastructure and Livelihood Improvement Project, CILIP. The presentation of a check for $800,000 to GAMWorks forms part of that commitment. The chairman of the council, Alhaji Sunkari Baji, commended the staff and the ward councillors for their dedication. He also urged taxpayers to ensure timely payment of their dues in order to enjoy timely development projects in the region.
Today's ceremony truly manifests the commitment of the council to plow the revenue generated from the public in the form of basic amenities and services to the communities in the region. This amount, being the first counterpart contribution, which we are about to pay to CILIP today, will fund the implementation of identified priority projects for communities in the region.
CEO Kinte further revealed the communities that would be benefiting from the project